everyone, how are you today? It's Chong here. Welcome to another week of our weekly Facebook Live tutorial. And for those of you who just joined us, my name is Chong and I'm the fertility dietitian based in Brisbane, Australia. Now, I am so thrilled you are watching this right now. Whether you are planning to start a family, currently trying to conceive, or you have been struggling to get pregnant, my job here is to give you simple, actionable, step-by-step nutrition strategies to help you to optimize your preconception health so you are one step closer to your pregnancy dream. Now, today's episode is an interesting one because we are going to dive into a little bit deeper by answering the question, should you go organic? Now, first, imagine you are walking through the grocery store today and you will likely see more and more shelf space devoted to organic foods that claims to be naturally free from all the chemicals and is absolutely healthy. Now, it's not just fresh fruits and vegetables that you can see the organic claim this day. You will likely also see across many other different products like eggs or yogurt, cheese, grains food like brown rice or legumes, pasta, meat and meat products, or even sauces, dressing, honey, herbs and spices. You are likely to see that organic claims. And of course, they are also in many other snacks as well. This day you can find many snacks that claim to be organically sourced and is claimed to be healthy, similar to a lot of the baby food products. Now, organic food doesn't come cheap as well. It just comes with a higher price tag. Generally could be like 10 to 50% more expensive than the conventional food. Now, and it's very also important to note that not all organic food is healthy. Say for example, if you pick up a bag of organic vegetable chips, and even though it say that, hey, it's made from organic source vegetables like the green peas, however, it is still likely to be highly processed with a whole lot of added, say, flavoring or sugars or salt, then it's not going to be healthy for you. Still, I would say that, today what we're going to do is we're going to walk through the evidence specifically behind organic food and also the impact on female reproductive hormones and whether or not you should be concerned pesticide and during your fertility while you're trying to have a baby and also during pregnancy. So I want to give you the step-by-step tips in helping you to decide which food are worth investing your money in buying organic product so you're more confident in spending the right money on the right food in order to get maximum fertility result. Sounds good? Let's get started. Now, first of all, what is organic? Now, organic is not just chemical or pesticide free. It is a sustainable way of growing and handling food for the environment. So just imagine as a person, for us, we also would like to live in a more holistic way, balancing, between our work, our life, the stress level. We also, likely to do some yoga, manifestation. So just imagine the word organic itself, it just means that it's really taking into the considerations of the soil, the plants, the animals, food, and people, and also most importantly, the environment impact as a whole. Now, certified organic products are grown and processed without synthetic chemicals, fertilizer, or genetically modified components. Now, organic foods, is interesting to know, organic foods are not also necessarily means completely free of chemical, but it just means that the pesticide residue content are slightly lower or at the minimum level compared to the typical conventional food. Now, in Australia itself, there's no mandatory requirement for certifications of organic products, so domestically, meaning that the use of the word organic is not regulated in Australia at the moment. So it's important to take note that to make sure that it's truly an organic grow product, you may want to consider buying a product that has the certifications when it comes to organic products. Now, bear in mind that in Australia, it's also the Food and Standards Code it's a very strictly monitored, meaning that all foods in Australia needs to comply with the Food and Standard Code with certain amounts of residue limits in the specific foods. Now that you understand what is the definitions of organic, shall we have a look? Is there a difference in terms of nutrition content when we compare organic food between the conventional food? So, several studies have compared the nutrition content of organic food and conventional food. And what is interesting is the author found that there's no significant difference in terms of the vitamins and minerals, but they are slightly higher in particularly vitamin C, phosphorus, magnesium, iron, and found that organic food has a lower nitrate level. One particular study also found that organic food was significantly higher in antioxidants. Now, what about the impact on fertility? Should you be totally switched to organic food? Here's what we're going to dive in next. So, the concern about pesticide, I guess that first is definitely during pregnancy. There are more studies shows that there might be a link between the exposure of pesticides in human might associated with problem in the baby development, including urogenital malformation in reproductive organs and also the urinary tract. There's also one particular study quite recent, published in 2017, looking at more than about 300 women undergoing infertility treatment as part of the environmental and reproductive health, also known as the EARTH study, found that women who ate more than 2 servings of high pesticide fruits and vegetables each day, compared to women who ate on average of 1 each day, were 18% less likely to become pregnant and 26% less likely to have a live birth than women who have a lower exposure. So definitely there are more emerging studies showing that there might be a link between women's fertility and also the pesticide residues in our food. So if you are wondering what can you do, or you are thinking about, oh my god, Catherine, I think that buying organic foods can be quite expensive, I just don't have that budget, what should you do? So my first tip for you today is, if you are someone who's trying to conceive, you may want to start with switching buying organic versions of fruits and vegetables. So just focusing on fruits and vegetables as your first starting point. And I want to direct you to a very good resource, so you can Google this. So Google the Dirty Dozen list from the Environmental Working Group website, so the EWG website. So you will see that there will be a list, what is known as the Dirty Dozen list, showing you which are the top list of food that contain the highest amount of pesticides residue. So then you only need to focus on more of your energy and your money spent on this type of food as a starting point. Now this list is a US-based finding of which conventional grown foods are more likely to contain pesticide residues, and it gets updated on a yearly basis. So let me share with you some example what is included in this year list, and some of the food might surprise you. So this year list includes strawberries, spinach, kales, apples, grapes, capsicum, celery, and tomatoes. Now you're like, oh my god, I think these food are known as fertility best food, isn't it? Yes, it is. So you can see that many of these food are known as the fertility nourished food, which is high in antioxidant from natural plant sources of vitamins and minerals and even fiber. So my thoughts are, instead of you cutting down on this food, which may not be a good idea, I want you to, if financially okay, I want you to set aside just a small budget focusing on buying more organic grown products from this list. So I would say this will be a good starting point. And another list you will see from the EWG website, there is also another list, what we call the Clean 15 food, which showing you that which type of food contains the least amount of pesticide residue. So personally, I wouldn't be spending a lot of money buying the organic food from the Clean 15 link because it's what is known to have the least amount of pesticide residue. So I would want you to really spend a good time to have a look through the 30 dozen list and figure out which are the food that you eat the most from the list and how can you start to switch to a more organic grown product. Now, secondly, my second tips for you today, food with thicker skin tend to also have fewer pesticide residues because the thicker is the skin, it kind of actually protects the inner fruits and vegetables. So by peeling off the skin of the apples and pear, or even just taking out the outer layer of cabbage, for example, is also another smart way to help you to minimize the pesticide. Well, now, number 3, you may also wonder right now, how about if I, wash my fruits and vegetables with a help to remove pesticide? Well, it is a complicated questions, and look, the research right now, there's none of the very straightforward answer for you. But in short, it's hard to kind of, in terms of looking at studies that look at, okay, does washing really help to reduce the pesticide? But I would say at this stage, the research are pointing towards, at your very best, you still want to wash your produce for sure before you eat them, because just by simply washing them under the water, it will help to reduce the pesticide by 10% or more. Again, the research are variable right now. It's just because there are more than 1,000 of different pesticides used commercially, and it's just hard to study all of them because it reacts differently. So my tip for you is tip number 2 today is always wash your fruits and vegetables before eating them. That will be another good habit that you can have. Next, if you are buying an organic product or already do so, make sure that you do also check the food labels at the front or at the back to see if they are a certified organic product. Because don't be fooled by the packaging claim. Certain products, they might say natural and chemical free, but doesn't mean that they are using organic farming methods. So make sure that you do your homework. Just take a few minutes to have a look at it in front of the packaging to find out for more information. And my last tip for you today is to buy organic food or produce directly from the local farmers. The reason why is because some of the smaller farmers may follow the organic practice but just haven't gone through the organic certifications process yet. After all, it is still quite an expensive process for a lot of smaller farmers out there. So I would suggest is talk to the farmer, or if you have an opportunity to also visit your local farmers market. That can also help you to learn more about the organic farming and start to enjoy the goodness of nature, simply enjoying eating whole food. So there you have it. We certainly have covered a lot in today's episode. So what I want you to do next is, let's talk about your action step, because if you don't put into the action, nothing will change. So the things that I want you to do after today's episode is, make sure you, number 1 is to Google that list 30 dozen list 2021 from the EWG website and ask yourself which food items from the list you eat the most from the current diet, and can you start switching to any of this food from the list to an organic produce? Or if not, perhaps you wanna start washing your fruits and vegetables before eating them, or maybe to source out directly from a local farmer. And when you are done, I want you to reach out to me. I would love to hear from you. So send me a message, DM me on Facebook or email or Instagram, and tell me which one of these you have implemented it. I would always love to hear from you. Now, if you enjoy today's episode, don't forget to press subscribe button so you will get notified every time I go live. And remember to share this video with your friends and leave a review on our channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next week, same time.